meeting, so I don't know.
Just making a little formal announcement about the logistics of the building. We have a restroom that are through the elevator. Well, there's two ways. You can take the elevator, you can take the stairs. But once you get downstairs, you go to your right, and we're going to give everybody a couple of minutes to get in, and thank you guys for coming in. Thank you. This is a networking opportunity for everyone. Get up, socialize, mingle. We got appetizers over here. I don't think they're ready to serve because we got some meatballs that are on their way. So just feel free to mingle around for the next hour or so, and then we'll get started around 3-ish.
That's me in the middle when I had to do it. I didn't look again. Well, I didn't recognize myself till I looked at them people. Hey, Speedy, how you doing? All right, here.
In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ray. Dr. White, I don't even recognize the face.
I didn't recognize that until she said run. Yeah, I'm glad. I know you now. Formerly enslaved people in 1879. There were 20 Baptist colleges that the enslaved established before 1890. Let me give you some names. Simmons, American Baptist in Nashville. Tuskegee, a Baptist college founded in a Methodist church. Here's another one. Morehouse, named after Henry Morehouse, prominent Baptist statesman. Here's another one. Spelman, Baptist College. Here's another one. Jackson State, founded before 1890. 20, only 11 of the 20 founded before 1890 is still in existence today, and we're one of those schools. If you drive down the street west, which is more our academic buildings, this is the administration building, you will see two buildings. When you see them, bow your head in respect, because those buildings were literally built by enslaved people. On the cornerstone of one building is Richard Reynolds. This is Brother Richard Reynolds' grandfather. His grandfather's name is on the cornerstone, who was a trustee here at Simmons. The president is Charles Parrish Sr., who was born enslaved. His son, Charles Parrish Jr., integrated higher education in the South. The University of Louisville became the first college to hire a black faculty member in the history of the South. He came from Simmons College. So, at one time, in fact, it was a slave plantation. If you go out this door on the right, there's a picture. There's a building that says State University. We changed our name from State to Simmons University in 1918 to distinguish us from another HBCU called State in Frankfort called Kentucky State. So we changed our name to Simmons. But before we acquired the property in 1879, it once, pre-Civil War, was a slave plantation. Can anyone name whose slave plantation it was?
Richard Reynolds?
Huh?
Richard Reynolds?
Zachary Taylor? Whose slave? In fact, that building, one of the buildings is his actual big house mansion. Here's his name. It was the slave plantation of Samuel Churchill.
Churchill.
And there is a racetrack in this city called Churchill Downs. He had 92 enslaved people. And his father, Amistad Churchill, got all that property because the state of Kentucky started from Virginia to pay the Revolutionary War soldiers. They didn't have the money, so they gave them land. And they gave Amistad Churchill land, and he passed it down to his son, Samuel Churchill. And I'm gonna tell you how much land it was. If you are from Louisville, you know where St. Stephen Baptist Church is. He owned all of the property from St. Stephen, from here, all the way to Churchill Downs.
What?
And we couldn't get 40 acres underneath. So this is our school. We are honored to have you here because you are, you're standing on the shoulders of historical giants as well. In tennis, whenever a serve is outside the boundaries, there's a man on an elevated seat that says this: fault. And in so many times during the history of Black America, whenever we've tried to achieve something, let me tell you what we heard. Fault. But this organization dared to say, no, we're not a fault. We're not a fault. We belong. And we will not let you define us, because anyone who you let define you can confine you. So welcome to this sacred space, Simmons College of Kentucky. I'm honored that you're here. By the way, I don't know if I introduced myself. My name is Kevin Cosby. I'm the president of the school. This is my sister. I've known her all her life. Her grandmother was such a great inspiration to me. Great-grandmother was your great-grandmother.
Grandmother.
Wow. How old was she when she passed?
102.
She was 102. And she told me something. And I'm also a pastor. I got those P words: pastor, president, partner, parent, all the P words. But she told me something at my pastor's anniversary one year. She said to me, Kevin, I am so proud of you. You're so smart, so you're going to do well. But you will never be as good as your granddaddy. My granddaddy started the church, and I'm pastoring. He said, you will never be as good as your grandfather. And this is why, he said, I'm not trying to insult you, but because of what he had to overcome to get an education, born in 1899.
That's right.
And let me say to you, you're great.
You're
You're wonderful, but you'll never be as great as your great-grandmother.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Prayers and welcome, especially the short prayer. We really appreciate it. And just want to let you know that we thank you for letting us use this beautiful facility. And as we, West Louisville Tennis Club, salutes this place in Louisville's history, it's only fitting that this ceremony be here in this building of the only historically Black college in Louisville, right? So, thank you so much, Reverend Cosby. We're proud of your accomplishments. Just know that. Amen. So for those of you that do not know, my name is Dr. Aretha Fuqua. I am president of the Louisville Tennis Club, and I'd like to introduce our officers. We have Mary Bryan. We have our vice president here. We have Pat Carter. We have our secretary, Benita Perry. And then we have the ancillary support crew. That would be Delphia and everybody else that comes in. So, just so you know who we are. And why are we here? Well, I'm here to say that each month until the end of the tennis season, and for us that's like until it's 30 below, right, until the ball doesn't bounce anymore, we plan each month to have a celebration of 100 years of volunteer services to the West Louisville community. That's what we're all about, and we're hoping to continue that. We're a 501c3, and we are proud. We are nonprofit, and we provide programming that promotes youth development and ensuring that our seniors, have a place to play and exercise and so forth. So we're about preservation, and we're here to honor the legacy of the generations that came before us, and we're also here to honor the leaders and the individual contributors that have sustained our existence. And last, we are here to pass out roses while the blood is still running warm in our veins. See? So that's what this day is all about. But please know, this ceremony is really not about us. It's really about being a good generational neighbor, because we have a responsibility to pass down to the generations that are coming behind us the legacies and the shoulders that we are standing on. So that's what this is all about, and I thank you all for coming. But I never expected it to be this many people, but thank you so much for supporting us. And we're gonna go ahead and get started with the awards program. But as you can see, the awards are missing. So we're gonna be a little delayed, but I'm gonna continue on because I have faith that it's just a temporary delay. I want to thank Ms. Spann and Mr. Clarence Leslie. They're the owners of the Louisville Defender newspaper, and there are no words to express our gratitude for their corporate sponsorship. They made all this possible for us. And I worked with Mr. Leslie for about 2 weeks, and I promise you, I learned more from Mr. Leslie in that 2-week period than I have in my collegiate level classes, because he's nonstop. I said, Mr. Leslie, do you sleep? No, I don't have to have a talk right now. So it's been a pleasure, and I'd also like to acknowledge, my newly found friend. She's back there in the corner, and just in case you all don't know, West Louisville Tennis Club has a social media branding and marketing strategist, that's what it is. So her name is Jessica Holman. She has been very encouraging to me because I get a little overwhelmed sometimes, and she has been just kind of that voice in the background that kept me going. So I'd like to introduce the West Louisville Tennis Clubs and the attendees of this event to Jessica Holman. She's back here. Okay, now I have some public service announcements. I got 3 of them, I think it is. The first one that I'd like to make the group aware of is that we have a fence outside of the clay courts, and we use that fence to visually display the legacies of our loved ones that have passed away. Just in case anybody doesn't know, those nameplates cost about $45, but the purchase entitles you to 1-year membership of the West Louisville Tennis Club. Now, I have a vision. I see names all across that fence, because it means a lot to us. And that's how we remember,
the shoulders that we are standing on. Some of these people will be honored, and my second public service announcement is our free summer clinic will start June the 6th. We will be in Chickasaw Park every Tuesday and Thursday from 6 p.m. to 7. We're hoping to acquire the service of some certified coaches because the team is getting up. And we're going to step aside and let the people that know how to do it because the Lord has blessed us to have funds for that. So if you have children, grandchildren, bring them out. And it's not just for kids. This is for adults as well. So come on out, fellowship with us, and that'll be next week. And lastly, let's see, I have to write this stuff down because I have to forget. The final public service announcement on the weekend of July 14th, West Louisville Tennis Club will host in Chickasaw Park our annual Arthur Lloyd Johnson tournament. So please join us as we keep the accomplishments of Arthur Lloyd Johnson alive. And by the way, this is our new banner that we will replace the tethered one with. This was a donation, a gift that was given to the West Louisville Tennis Club from the United States Tennis Association. So we want to say thank you to them, and we're making little baby steps. And if you happen to ride through Chickasaw Park about 9:30-ish, you will see the most beautiful overhead lights that you ever would see. Compliments. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to using those courts to play tennis at night. We've got hopes of having our first juniors tournament in Chickasaw Park. So yeah, and we're looking forward to playing under those lights. So with that being said, I have some caveats that I decided. Now, today's list of honorees, it doesn't represent our legacy in its entirety because I had no way of remembering everyone, so what I decided to do, this is our first award ceremony, and I decided that when this is over, I will receive and collect the names of the individuals that were not included, because in October of this year, we will be working in collaboration once again with the Louisville Defender to put on an awards luncheon and celebration. So blame it on me, I'm aging, and I tend to forget some things. So please do not be offended if you're not on this list, because you can be assured that you will be on the next one. So let's see. If you're receiving an award, and we're going to pretend until those doggone awards get here, if you are receiving an award on behalf of someone else, please let us know your name and your relationship to the honoree. And if you have a story to share, please please know that the floor is open to everyone that is under the sound of my voice, because quite frankly, I'm tired of talking. So with that being said, we're going to move forward. I'm going to talk about our legacy first. Now, most of the names that I received to be on that legacy list, most of the people are on our tennis wall, our tennis fence, but I want to start with one that's very close to my heart, and that would be the legacy of Mr. Robert Baker. And I start there. Thank you. I start there because Mrs. Robert Baker is still with us. And I am in just total belief that if we don't honor our soldiers when we're here, then their memory dies with them. So that's one thing that we don't want to happen to our organization, because we're standing on their shoulders. Mrs. Baker, would you have a word, please? No? Well, that's okay. You don't have to. Just stand up and take a bow.
person that comes to my mind because his name was such a reality for me in my heyday, which is years ago, is Charlie Robinson. Now, Wanda?
Richardson.
What did I say?
Robinson. Charlie Richardson.
You want me to come?
Yes, please.
It's on the screen there. Well, I can tell you that it wasn't the West Louisville Tennis Club at the time, but the Louisville Tennis Club made me who I am today, you know. My dad lived and breathed tennis. And we'd get up and he would drag me every weekend. We were down at Chickasaw Park all day, like the rest of the guys that are getting some rewards today about all that they've done for us. And I mean, I've learned so much just not only on the tennis court, but about people, and Don taught me a lot. Don Baker taught me a lot about what it means to be a good sports person. Because I'm going to admit to the group that I acted real ugly one year when Don beat me. I just couldn't handle it. But, you know, I've lived with that experience all my life, you know, and I think it's made me a better person for it, made me more humble. And of course, Ms. Baker was just our tennis mom. She was all of our kids' tennis mom. She was always there for us, always there with coolers and drinks and stuff. And so it was my life too, you know, being at Chickasaw was what we did. And I'm sure that every life that they've touched since ours is doing the same thing for them. So I'm really glad to hear about the youth program. In fact, you're going to get some coaches in there that these kids today, oh my gosh, they hit balls like we can only dream of even as adults today. So if they get started early, they've got a bright future in front of them. And of course, tennis is a sport that you can play your entire life. Right? So we started, what, John, 6 or 7 years old when we were down there, and I'm still playing today. I play about 3-4 times a week. So,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping to continue that for the next 20 years. And tennis, I think, will make that happen. So anyway, I'm happy to be here on behalf of my dad, and I'm sure he would have loved to have been here to talk to, and to say thank you and how much he loved everybody that was part of the West Louisville Tennis Center.
Okay, to the group that once I receive those awards, I might have to personally drive them around and hand them out. But I'm gonna be okay.
In about 20 minutes, you won't have to grab them.
I don't have to drive them. Okay, thank you, Miss Fanny. Okay, I have a couple of other people, and the other one that touched my heart is because, you know, he died pretty young, and you know, they were a part of our tennis family for many, many years when I started playing. So I just want to use this opportunity to recognize Jimmy Brooks. You know, he fought his illness. There's a whole family of people that supported him through his hard times, and now we want to support you. So if either of you would like to have a word, the time is now.
No, first thing I just want to say, just want to thank you all for coming out. I mean, my brother.
It's all right.
And what he meant to me, he pretty much, I mean, in my life, he molded me into someone I thought I would never become pretty much as a tennis player. I mean, every day he told me, Rand, you can be good as you want to be. And that's something, the confidence he instilled in me that till this day I have. And I'm so grateful to have him in my life as a mentor, as a coach, as one of my best friends. Someone who always, if anyone knows him, he kept it real. He never held punches. Just thankful for him being in my life, always pushing me to that last point, knowing that even if I was tired, didn't feel like I could do it, he always showed me the way. I knew, to me, he's the greatest tennis player I've ever been around. Tony was the hardest fighter. He would never quit. And his little brother, he showed me that way to be that man, to be that competitor. And I would never reach the heights without my brother. And to this day, I love him forever. And I will always live for him and fight for him and show younger kids, everyone younger than me, that anything is possible through tennis, hard work, and just being dedicated to what you do. But other than that, I want to thank Aretha, West Louisville, for all these people in here mentoring me, guiding me as a young kid. So many memories I have that I can't even start to get to say any of them. But I remember those days like yesterday. Some of the greatest times of my life. Being young, just coming down to the park, staying there from dusk to dawn, playing tennis, playing basketball, doing whatever, getting dirty. My mom yelled at me from dirtying my shirts up all the time, but it was great times. I'll never forget that. But just want to thank you guys. Love you. May God be with you guys, and God bless you. Love you.
Is there anyone here to represent Percy Vaughn? No? Yes? No? Maybe?
Well, thank you, Madam President. Percy Vaughn was a very special person to the Chickasaw Tennis Club, West Louisville Tennis Club. And being my cousin, I heard some, see, they're laughing already, unusual statements. He loved and breathed tennis, and he spread that throughout his family. Had all boys, 5 boys, and they all played tennis. So then it rubbed off on me, his cousin. So, but he was a character. If anybody knew him, he was lively, didn't meet any strangers, and was just one of those folks that if you were sick in the hospital and he heard about it, he'd go visit you. So that's just how Percy Vaughn was. One of his most famous quotes were when he hit a ball that you couldn't get to, he'd say, "Hurry, hurry." And then when you'd hit a shot on him that he couldn't get to, he'd say, "You guys are rough as rough on rats." And I had no idea what that meant, but that was a rat poison over in Indiana that killed rats. So he just made some sayings out of some things that you wouldn't believe. But if family was here, I know that they would be honored to accept an award. But I'll do that on behalf of the Vaughn family. Thank you so much.
We got Dr. William and Gardner King. Is there anyone that could speak on the experiences of those two? Yes? No? We'll move on. We'll move on. Jeff Downing. Gil Fact. Okay. Ed Thomas. Anybody remember Ed Thomas? Okay. All right. Well, we're going to leave that legacy right there, and we're going to move on to the group that sustained that legacy. Those are the officers that have, over the years, assumed those leadership positions to keep this organization relevant. So, I don't know them all. I know a few of them. So, our intentions were to honor Ruby Hyde. Would you like to have a word? Watch your step. All right.
This being a truly a nice occasion, I didn't know where I was going to be able to make it. One thing I would like to say that's part of the history is 50 years ago when I went into Chickasaw Park to play tennis, Bob Baker, Miss Baker's husband, was the president. And then later he formed a committee, and we was the Louisville Tennis Club. And we learned that another club in Louisville had already had the name and been incorporated. So we changed the name to the West Louisville Tennis Club. And from that point on, we organized and a new president came in, and that was Tim Eddy. Is he here in the house?
Yes.
And we stayed together with the committee, and there's a picture here on the board of a committee. We worked for 2 years, and the club had never been an organized business club. And we worked for 2 years, and we drafted the bylaws, and became history. In 1981, we became the Incorporated West Louisville Tennis Club. And from there, we had, after Tim's legacy as president, I was elected president and came for 10 years. Then behind me is the other president here from Indiana, it's Regina Oglesby. Hold your hand out, Regina. She's president. And then we had some more presidents in the building. I can't call everybody's name, but I would like everybody to stay.
John Lamaster.
John Lamaster, I thought I seen him. He was president. And then there was president who was a legacy that we carried on, Tim Eddy.
Tim Eddy.
Yes, I called him out.
Yep, call him out.
Call him out, Tim Eddy, president. And we carried a legacy on for about the last 45, 50 years. As things start to bloom and new generations came in, and new programs and new monies. And with the youth program, we was invested in the youth program because we would hit the schools a week or two during the time that school had spring vacation, and we get to the schools, and by the time schools closed, every school in the city had information on who we were, and the kids would just flood down there to the park. But anyway, this is a nice occasion. I hope that everyone here today continue to stay in tune with the West Louisville Tennis Club, support it in whatever way you can. But there has been some real history here in this tennis club. And on this board up here is the first incorporation officers that has been shown off and on the board, with Scott Cox was our lawyer back then. And I just want to say thank you, but it's been a real last 40, 50 years. And things are still going good with Dr. Aretha here, which I've been knowing since she was a little teenager. Knew great granny, knew her whole entire family, so I'm glad that things have come alike and we continue to make gains here in the city of Louisville. And all around the country, for real, because everybody knows West Louisville Tennis Club. Conferences we used to have here, Midwest tournaments and everything we had. Thank you, and God bless each one of you. Stay focused and do whatever you can to help West Louisville Tennis Club.
About this presentation, because we wanted to just have a pictorial representation of where we've been and where we'd like to go. So Richard Reynolds has our history in a binder of about 5 books. But I said, Richard, can we get a couple of pictures out of that book so that we could, so Richard's like, no, these are my pictures. If you want to scan them, you got to come over to my house and scan them. So I called Mary B. I said, Mary B., Rich said I couldn't have them unless I scanned them at his house. Mary B. went out to Amazon. She ordered a portable scanner. I went over to Richard's house. We scanned about 40 pictures. It took about 2 hours, and then I deleted them. I know. It was a sad thing. Richard was encouraging. She said, don't worry about it. We can do it again. We can do it again. And we did do it again. So what I want to say to you, Richard, is thank you so much for your patience, because it really meant a lot to me, because you took the time out of your day to deal with my foolishness. So for that, I thank you. Okay, Tim Ed. Would you like to have a word? And then, following Tim Eddy, John Lamaster, would you like to have a word?
You called me with a cookie in my mouth.
Oh, well.
I took my glasses off. I don't want y'all to think I was blind.
I don't think you do, but it's so noisy. I'm gonna go. Let me go.
like to say that I've been a part of West Louisville for way over 50 years, and it's one of the greatest organizations that I've ever been involved with. But the people in it has been, had an impact on our life. Everybody became a family. Everybody got along. There wasn't any bad blood between anybody for all these years that I've been there. And over the years, we grew from one stage to another. Every president that came in added something, and we kept moving up. So once we got to a point where technology came in, that's what lost me. I was a pencil and paper person. But when technology came in and we started getting people that were more in tune to that the organizations went to a different level. West Louisville Tennis Club went to a different level, which Aretha has took it to a point where it's never been. And I just sat back and just say, hey, you know, because she's doing a great job. But other than that, Miss Baker and Mrs. Baker, I remember when I first joined, Miss Baker, my wife at that time worked together. And I always seen Mrs. Baker, but you know, I said, the first time I saw these guys, they all wore all white. And these dudes were immaculate. I mean, professional. We had doctors, lawyers, everybody, Indian chiefs, people, anybody. But they set an example of how you should dictate care of your life. I mean, because these people were great. But anyway, with Mr. Baker, he got me involved in tennis at, I don't know, 21, 22 years old. By Miss Baker knowing my wife, they invited us over for dinner. And I remember going down to his place and seeing all these trophies. I'm like, wow. I said, I want to get some of that. Well, needless to say, that's when I joined. But over the years, I only got maybe 2. He hit 200. But anyway, just I'll say all this to say this. I'm glad to be a part of this. I'm glad to be here for this ceremony at this time. What is it, 100 years?
100 years.
100 years.
That's to be able to hold your peace. So if you would take a moment to just enlighten us on what the West Louisville Tennis Club has meant to you. John the Master, it is yours. Okay. Dr. White.
I'm Dr. White, and I always played on the winning tennis team. I went to Wiley College, I played on the winning tennis team. I went to the Army, played on the winning tennis team. Came to Louisville, I played on the winning tennis team. So I really felt good. I really loved this team was out there at one park, and President Boyd saw me. And he said, man, you ought to come and join us the Louisville Tennis Club. Yeah, so he got me into the club. Yeah, and I joined the club and had a great time. Won just about all my matches, except maybe some doubles, all single matches. And they put me up there, I think I was rated number 5 and number 6. If I could beat everybody above me except the 2 brothers. I can't remember their names right there. What was their name?
Robert and John McGill.
McGill, yeah. I think I beat everybody but the McGill brothers up there. Yeah. But I never did move up, you know, you have to kind of politically, you have to make a certain thing, say I'm going to take his place. Now, the doctor, I didn't have time to do all that stuff. So I stayed where I was I kind of rated low, but it gave me a chance to win all my matches. Yeah. And talking about a coach, Mr. Johnson, great coach. He told me was one of the best doubles player in the city. I don't know why he said that, because he had the McGill brothers. And I don't know nobody who was better than them at the time. Okay. But we won the tri-state tournament at one time. And the biggest trophy about this big. And I don't know what happened to that trophy. I never did keep it. But some of them kept Mr. Baker. Ms. Baker kept it for a while. And I started keeping one time when my kids were little, and I was afraid they were around the house, they were going to break it.
We did break one.
But it was it was a team trophy. But I think Mr. Baker and I won that trophy. Because we was behind on the team, and they had to play some doubles. And Baker and I, we had already done our part, and we was through. And Mr. Johnson said, we're behind, I want y'all to play again. I said, Mr. Johnson, we done already played. We're not gonna play no more. Mr. Johnson made us go out there and play again. And we won that time. We were about 3 things behind for the trophy. We got to, we was laying on a blanket, drinking beer. Mr. Johnson said, I want y'all to go back out there and play again. I said, what about the McGill? Where are the McGill brothers? Why are we going to stand up out there? We're not the #1 team. Said, we're not going out there anymore. Mr. Johnson made us go out there again. Yeah, he must have been a good coach because we started cursing and everything up there. Went back there and won the second thing, so we were kind of even up. Got back through, we laid down on the blanket. Got a beer. Johnson came and said, I want y'all to go back in there again. I said, because we're behind. He's sitting, Baker and I, walked out there. I said, Mr. Baker, we done drunk beer, and we're not going out there no more. We're tired. And I don't know how a coach can make somebody do something what they don't want to do. But Mr. Johnson had the power to do it. We stopped drinking our beer. Said some bad words about Mr. Johnson. He can't make us do nothing. I'm doctor. He can't make me go out there. It's not for personal stuff, He made us go out there again. Won again and won the big, put the thing in that big trophy up there. I don't know where it is. But we won that trophy. It was a team trophy. But in the end, it was Baker and I. Mr. Johnson made us go back out there again.
I don't know this for sure, but I'm thinking, Doc White, that you're probably the oldest member, or is it a race between you and Ms. Baker?
I think I'm older than you.
Okay, well, goodbye.
Yeah, I keep thinking I'm the young guy on the block,
No.
I'm saying one thing about Mr. Percy. He was a really good guy. He played tennis. He didn't care whether it was losing or winning. He didn't keep up with the score. He just loved the game.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And one thing about Mr. Baker now, I said team won that tournament, but Baker and I put the final touch on that thing, up there. And Baker and I was close. He would win one game one time, I'll win the next time. You win this time, you win next time. But we finally got to the big tournament, Mr. Baker won. And I was just beating Mr. Baker, he's throwing up logs. Wow! I was killing Mr. Baker. And he threw up something in the log. I said, if he throw up any more logs, I'm going to vomit. And he threw up about 10 more logs. Not only did I vomit, I had diarrhea. And anyway, finally, won there, and it was a long, we was out there in the sun, and I think we must have heated off. Because he broke a stick, and I think it took 3 years off my life. He said it took 3 years off his life. Yeah. And
Thank you so much.
That's all I can say.
Oh, that's quite a bit. I want everybody to know this, and I want you to know it for sure. John called me yesterday, and he said, I'm sorry.
I was the president for 1 year.
Okay, that counts. That counts. Everything.
I wasn't there when they voted.
John called me yesterday. He said, Rita, I heard that, you know, that we're celebrating 100 years, and I wanted to call and I wanted to ask if I could come. By all means, we want as many people to come as that will come. He said, because you know I was the president. I said, well, I didn't know you were the president ever. I really didn't, because I said, John, you're here 1 minute and you're gone today. You come, months, I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to help you to understand my oversight. So, what I want everyone to know is, he's not the only one that I forgot. But we're going to make it right, and we're going to make it right at our next ceremony in October. So, for those of you that know the history far better than me, please correct me if you can. So, go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, you came in behind me as president.
That's for sure.
But having her say that I had gotten sick. I had a heart attack, stroke, found out I needed a heart, and it hurt me to go down to the park and play tennis and not be able to play. So I backed off and didn't come a lot. But I still came and checked on everybody every once in a while. But I told her I was not upset. Things like that happen. And when you're not around, sometimes you forget. And then we all getting younger, so we. But I joined the club back in, I think, '73. I think if I'd still been active, it'd be 50 years this year. I was made an honorary member. But some of the highlights that I met was I was able to grow as a young man, watching our senior, at that time, tennis players and how they acted and behaved on and off the court, jokingly and being serious. How to treat women, how not to treat women, what to say in the presence of women, what not to say in the presence of women. And I learned a whole lot from those men that have gone on to see God, and some of them are still here. I mean, I owe a lot to Richard and all that, even though me and Richard coached the same age, but I still owe a lot to him. But some of my highlights was as president, when I left, I got a newsletter going. We kept everybody involved. When I left with a substantial amount of money in the till so that we could continue to do things, because I always believed that it was never about me, it was about us. So I tried to be the best I could be, because leadership goes and the team goes as a reflection upon your leadership. So I try to make sure that I never asked anybody to do anything that I couldn't do. When I stepped down as president, I wound up being team captain. And I can say this for a fact, we never lost when we went to Indianapolis, when Indianapolis came here, when we went to Nashville, Nashville came here, and when we went out to Newburgh and lost a tournament with them. So my term was undefeated without them, and I like to brag and tease a lot. But those were some of my highlights. And then just getting to know everybody, new people coming in, the youth, the tennis club, and having that go. So I want to thank you all for helping me grow as a man, to be able to be the father that I was and still am, the husband, the uncle, the friend, never an enemy, but always there. And I just appreciate all that you have done in my life to make me who I am today.
Thank you. Durrell, I know you don't like to talk, but your name carries a lot of weight. You know what I'm talking about. So if you would be kind enough to grace us with just a few words about your legacy, we'd appreciate it.
First of all, I just want to thank God. I was over praying because I knew this was coming. I hold my feelings and get my emotions together. And thank you, Lord, I got them together. I ain't crying. Woo, I was so teary-eyed, and I was thinking, you know, West Louisville goes so deep with my family, so many families, and oh man, we have where I go.
I'm here for you. I am. I'm here for you.
We have so much fun. With tennis, you know, with life. Oh man, what a blessing. And you know, Chickasaw, home base for life. Yeah. And I just want to thank everybody for their support and kind words and always being nice to me. I really appreciate it. You know, people don't have to be nice to you. It means so much to me. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, you know what, I could go on and on and on, and the stories could go on and on and on. So, if anybody have anything that they'd like to add before I move on to the next group of honorees, now would be the time. Go ahead, Zeke.
First, let's give honor to God. Let's just clap our hands for our community. Praise God for the West Louisville Tennis Club. I joined the West Louisville Tennis Club in 1969. I was in the Army. This man came out to Fort Knox and taught the kids at Fort Knox High School. And you know what it cost me? Lunch at the Officers Club. That's what it cost me. I've been with West Louisville. I teach tennis. I love everybody. This woman here, she's irreplaceable. We get behind her, support her, and we're going to the next level.
Thank you, Jiggy, and thank you, everybody. But just so you guys understand where we're trying to go, we have a group of juniors because we decided, because we're an aging organization, we can't make this legacy about us. Because there's a whole generation that's coming behind us, and the best thing that we can do for this club and for this world and for this community is support our juniors. So if you're a junior in West Louisville Tennis Club, please stand. It's about you guys, and it's not just us that believe in you. This year we've been able to obtain sponsorships. I mean, we've got more money in our budget right now than we ever had, and it's just the beginning. Because we believe in going out and building relationships. There's a lot of things that comes out of building relationships, and so that's been our focus, not for us, because we've seen our good days. It's for you guys. So just know that what we're doing and going through right now is for you guys, and it's for our seniors. Our seniors. We have people in this club that are 70, 80, 90 years old. That's history. That's history. So all this is about honoring that history. So with that being said, there are some worker bees that I want to acknowledge, because worker bees are usually the same bees, but the bees. And I want to acknowledge our support team. I want to acknowledge Don. I want to acknowledge. I want to. Don't stop. Don't stop.
Why do we acknowledge Don?
I want to acknowledge Bruce Logan, and I say those names together because they have assumed the physical position of maintaining those clay courts. And all I can do is watch, because it's not because he's making a lot of money, because we are a totally volunteer organization. Nobody's making money. So because you get out there and you sweat on that little rowing thing or whatever you call it, I don't know the technical name, but we appreciate what you and Bruce do for us, because without your help, there would be no clay courts. Mary B., It's your time. I just want to say, Mary B., how long you've been associated with this club.
I joined in 1975.
Mary B., I got two arms. I got a left one and I got a right. She's my right arm. Because sometimes I get a little weary, I get a little sassy, but I can always depend on Mary B. to hold me accountable and help me to do the right things. Because you know, emotional decisions are not good decisions. She doesn't allow me to make those. So I appreciate you, Mary B. Delphia, you're always around buying sandwiches for everybody. We are buying sandwiches for you. Pat.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Benita. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We've only been together for the last 5 years, but it's a solid core team, but we're not a team without a team, because in some way, each of you, have supported us. And this is about, like I said, giving people their roses while they're alive. So when I get those roses, you'll get those roses. Okay? Tony, thank you for everything you do. Everything. Mr. Donan, thank you for everything that you do. And I'm looking around. Jason, thank you what you said, not what you do. We appreciate that, though. No, actually, Jason does a lot, but I just get a kick out of teasing him because he tries his best to avoid it. But he will show up in the clutch. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Lou. Thank you to the whole Casey family. Thank you to Remus. Oh my God. Remus and I share a story. In 2004, I left Louisville to go to Georgia. I accepted a job working for the rapid transit system in Atlanta. I did. Well, I'm down in Georgia for about a year. I be doggone fighting and looked up and I saw Remus because we both played tennis and we lived in the same general area. So I was surprised. So Remus, we are wishing you the best, in getting healthy and just being apart. But we want to say to you, Remus, and the family of Remus, Renard, Nisi, Renard's son. I don't know the son, but I know he looks like his dad. We thank you all for just getting Remus out so that we could just let him know that we love him. Jim Stein, did you think I was going to skip you? I know you didn't, did you? I can't, because if I skip you, I have to skip the Arthur Lord Johnson Memorial Tournament. Okay? Jim, without you, we probably have a tournament, but it wouldn't be as organized, okay? And so you've been who you are, and you've done what you do as long as I've been in the club. So that's special. And Gail, thank you for letting him do it. Queen Victoria, thank you for letting Ziggy do it too. Brenda, would you have a word? Yes, no, maybe? Brenda Brooks. Brenda Brooks, you know who I'm talking to. You know who I'm talking to. Jason. About what?
It's hard to talk because I appreciate you honoring my son. My son loved tennis, my whole family loved tennis. I like seeing the family here that plays tennis together all the time. because that's what we did. My kids had no opportunities to do anything else. You could either come to the park, watch us play, or you could play. I mean, and they all went to school, all three of them, in college, on tennis scholarships, and all had great, records while they were in college. My daughter was one of the top players. Both my sons, all three of my kids played. They have something here like the Whitman Cup, and there's a cup for men. What is it? Davis Cup. My kids, the whole family, they made the Davis Cup and the Whitman Cup. And you can't, you have to beat everybody else in Kentucky, not Louisville, in Kentucky to do that. So I really feel proud that they were able to be a part of the West Louisville Tennis Club. I feel like you all really pushed them. You were mentors for them. Marcus Barber, I don't think he's here. And Mark was always, supporting my kids. And so the whole club was really supportive. And I just want to say I appreciate you.
We appreciate it. Just as we're about to wrap up, what's coming in the door? Everybody knows. But that's all right, because we're going to close it out with them. Yes, we are. If I have to pass them out, it's going to happen. And if you guys would just bear with me. Just bear with me. Jason, you good? Lou, let me tell you this. Thank you for bringing together our relationship with Hands On Ministry. We have the aesthetically beautiful court that we have today because we partnered with Luke Chase. Stand up, Luke. We met in the park on a Saturday. Everybody pitched in. We repaired those slacks in the benches that are bad. Yeah, it'd be nice to have good ones, but that's not our priority. Our priority is bringing this community together, and that's exactly what you did. So thank you for that. Okay, I'm tired of talking. I really am. You want to? Okay. She is the mother of our juniors and the wife of Luke. There he is. There he is. Let me get it. What? Can I? Casey is the reason why. The pictures that Richard and I scanned are on display at this moment. Are you happy?
Let's stay up here. Because the only reason I'm up here is because a year ago, Coach Donnie, who helps at Central High School with the tennis team, invited our family to check out the West Louisville Tennis Club. So I have 4 kids, 2 of them are 17, I have a 14-year-old and an almost 13-year-old, and our older 3 kids all go to Central High School. And we got to meet this amazing group of people that nearly immediately became our family. And I'm not kidding you. I'm gonna get a little emotional about this. But our families don't live in Kentucky. They live in Iowa and Indiana and Missouri. And so for us, all of you have become our family. You all have become our grandparents and our aunts and our uncles and our kids' mentors. And I couldn't be more thankful for this group of people. And getting to listen to all of you do what you do is incredibly humbling that our family gets to be a part of what you all do and the shoulders that you all stand on and the work that you do. So I want to just say thank you, because my family has been so welcomed in by this group of people. But I also want to personally, as a representative of the officers, thank you, Ms. Aretha, for everything you do. This is on behalf of the West Louisville Tennis Club. We could not be where we are in any way, shape, or form without you. And you have worked as hard as I've seen anyone work over the past year, and we can't thank you enough. So, thank you.
Okay, I'm done. Can you close this out?
Let me check my list.
Okay, well, check your list, Pat. We're waiting for Pat to check her list.
Everybody please stand.
Hold on a minute, say But because I know the man that you are, I know you're the one that wants to fly under the radar and go unnoticed. But let me just tell you, Mr. Donan, you can't do that. And the reason you can't do that, because one year we had a partnership with, God, I hate to cry. We had a partnership with Louisville Sports Commission, and we guaranteed every child that was in our clinic a fresh pair of tennis shoes. Biggest clinic we had, 75. So we gave those kids tennis shoes and a certificate. But all the kids weren't there to receive them. So we stored those tennis shoes that were not given out inside the shed. Well, some ornery varmint, Yosemite Sam, I'm gonna call them, they broke in the shed and they stole all the tennis shoes that weren't given to the kid. Herbie took court. I said, if we spend our last money, we're gonna get those doggone tennis shoes. And I was whining to Mr. Donan. And Mr. Donan said, don't worry about it. We'll replace those shoes. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna replace them because they never should have been stolen. So what Mr. Donan, please forgive me for this, but I have to tell this story because it's a lesson in it all. What Mr. Donan did, he got on the phone and he called his friends and told them exactly what happened, and his friends donated all the money to replace those tennis shoes that were stolen. And to me, that was very compassionate, that was very caring, and it was very unselfish. And he's gonna bum me out later for telling the story, but it's an important story because, like, who said it? Nobody really has to do anything for you. And when they do, it makes it very special, and the relationship is very special. And ever since that day, Mr. Donan has been helping me. I called him for advice because I know he's lived long enough. He knows more than me, and sometimes I need to listen. So I just wanted to share that story, and that's the last thing that I want to say. And you take us on home, Ziggy, please.
Everybody please stand. May the Lord bless thee. May the Lord keep thee. May the Lord make his face shine upon thee and give thee peace. Amen.
Amen. We got a bunch of fruit and food over here. Don't leave without